Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. In today's video, I'm bringing to you 5 books to kickstart 2023 with. I'm sure that when it comes to the new year itself, everyone has a lot of plans and aspirations for the year. And the thing that we all lack usually is that we are not equipped enough to make use of all the resources that we have around us. In order to understand them better and make use of everything that we have in hand, we need to make ourselves ready. And I personally think that all these 5 books will help you identify the resources around you and help you use them properly in order to achieve everything that you want. So without any further ado, let's get into the 5 books right away. I'm recommending these 5 books in a particular order, and I'd suggest you to read them in the particular order itself if you've not read them before, because I've kept some prompts in mind for each and every one of the 5 books, and when you read them in the exact order, I think you can achieve the results even quickly and also in a better way. So the first issue which we'll face when it comes to working on anything and making ourselves better is that we'll not have enough time to do it. So in order to relieve you of that stress and help you get more time from the 24 hours that you have, the book that I'm suggesting is Make Time by Knapp and Zeratsky. The reason why I'm recommending this book compared to any other book on time management is because it is very visually written, so that if you read it once itself, you'll be able to understand and grasp all the concepts very easily. There are so many techniques that the authors teach you here, and there are also super tricks that are employed by the authors inside the book that you can easily practice on a very daily basis and try to squeeze in that extra time that you need in order to work on the things that you want to work on. Again, it's not like a super structured book that you have to follow everything in a particular order in order to achieve the results. You can just mix and match according to your preferences and your goals and try to get a huge chunk of the day in order to do all the work that you want to do. If you want to hear my detailed thoughts on this book, I have a dedicated review for it, and if I have videos for any of the other books, all of them will be linked down in the description, so do check them out if you're interested. I know that this book is a bit expensive when it comes to the price, but trust me, it is worth the investment because there are so many tricks that have worked out for me itself in the past year after I finished reading the book. So if you're struggling with not having enough time to do the work that you want to do, start with this book. I'm sure you'll not be disappointed and you'll also get so much benefits. Now you have completed the first step, that is, you have enough time to work on the things that you want to work on. The second step is to identify what you want to work on and what are the things that you are lacking physically and mentally in order to do the things that you want to do. So the book that I suggest here is one of my all-time favorite books because this book has changed my life in multiple ways and helped me understand myself better and how I react to certain instances very properly. So the book is How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera. This is the first book by the author, and trust me, once you read this book, I'm sure you'll have some kind of awakening within you because this makes you super self-aware of the person that you are, and it tries to make you authentically as the person that you are inside. All of us go through a lot of trauma from our childhood itself until the day that we die, but these traumas are the things that shape a lot of the things about our personality, and in order to understand that better and the way in which we react to things in a better way, we need to understand the trauma and see where it comes from. This is basically a book which deals with a lot of stuff about the inner child that each and every person has. All of us have faced some kind of trauma no matter who we are in our childhood, and that has shaped us into the person that we are right now. And I'm sure that most of us are not aware of those things because we don't talk about them in a general way in the society. Just in order to understand yourself better, revisit your past and see what all things have triggered you and shaped you to the person that you are right now, this book will help you immensely. There's also a kind of journaling that the author suggests in this one called future self journaling, which you can practice in a step-by-step manner as the author guides you through it. I'm sure that I'm going to reread this book in 2023. So if you're not going to read any of the other books in this video also, just read this one. I'm sure you'll be able to understand yourself better and make better decisions when it comes to your life. The next book is something which will help you mentally equip yourself in order to do the things that you want to do. So the book that I want to speak about here deals with visualization as a practice and a method. Okay, I'm sure if you are into self-help stuff, you have heard about visualization and its benefits from various different sources, but I'm specifically recommending this book because it has a very practical and scientific approach towards visualization as a concept, because the author herself is a neuroscientist and the book is The Source by Dr. Tara Swart. I read it very recently, that is in December 2022 only, and I should say this has changed my mindset when it comes to visualization as a concept and a practice, because the author clearly explains how visualization happens in your body, okay? How your body, that is your brain, helps you get everything that you want in a physical way. Now I'm sure that if you have read about visualization before, it is always from a spiritual point of view, but not from a scientific and practical point of view. But here it is not like that at all. I can say of the 100% from the book, 90% has a very biological and practical approach, and the other 10% has kind of a spiritual approach, because I think the author is a spiritual person in a way. Again, a very short book. If you start reading it, I'm sure you can finish it in like 1 or 2 days max, because the language of the book is very easy. At the same time, it goes very deep into the concepts and clearly explains each and everything for you in order to understand and grasp the concepts. I'm sure that many people will not be able to accept visualization as a practice because it does not sound practical or scientifically proven in any way, but after you read this, I'm sure you'll be able to understand how visualization works, and that will make you accept it properly. So if you have to do something, try to picture it in your mind and see it mentally so that you can physically do it in the world, and I'm sure this book will help you immensely for that. The next book deals with a buzzword when it comes to personal development and self-help, and the word is productivity. Okay, I'm sure all of us uses this word on a daily basis very easily, because it is super important to be highly productive in this world, because in order to do all the things that we want to do, we need to be highly productive. Even though it's not the most healthy of all the concepts, it is very necessary in order to get the desired output that we want. And this book has changed my productivity game in another level over the past 2 years, and it is also one of my most favorites because of this reason. The book that I'm talking about is Deep Work by Newport. I should say this book has definitely changed my productivity game immensely over the past 2 years, because there's this one concept that the author talks about, deep work, that you can do only during the period of the day where you have very high concentration. And this amount of deep work can be done by any human being only for a period of 4 hours each and every day. Okay, we have 24 hours in a day, but of those 24 hours, only 1/6 is the chunk of time during which we can do deep work, and it is necessary to find where that amount of time is available for us throughout the day. For example, I am a morning person, and only the first 4 hours during which I work is the chunk during which I can do deep work, and that is the time during which you should do all the difficult tasks that you have to do and can do. At the same time, the myth of multitasking and its productivity value is easily busted in this book. Once you read this book, I'm sure you'll not do multitasking at all, because you will see how much counterproductive that is compared to being productive. Just like the 4-hour attention span and many other such awesome concepts, like how willpower is finite for each and every person, you'll learn a lot of things from this book. Again, yet another short book which you can just read in 2 or 3 days max, and the language is also super easy. So if you want to increase your productivity game, you need to read Deep Work by Newport, because I have experienced it personally in the past 2 years, and I'd highly recommend everyone to read this for sure. The last and final book that I'm recommending in this video is something which will help you concentrate in the present, on the now, and do everything that you can without worrying about the past or the future. And the book is The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kimishi and Fumitake Koga. Now, I'm recommending this book at last because this is the most challenging of all the 5 books that I'm recommending today. Especially if you finish reading How to Do the Work just as I did and then read this one, it will be super challenging for you, because both of these books are polar opposites to each other. Okay, How to Do the Work is predominantly focusing on trauma and how it shapes you, but this one completely denies the existence of trauma, which is super polar in its concept. I can honestly say that while I was reading this book, the first 50 pages were such a huge struggle for me, because all my beliefs and practices have been shaped according to my knowledge that I have about my trauma, and this book just denied that I had trauma at all, because now is the only moment that exists. So if you consider that there is no past and no future, so you don't have trauma of any kind at all. And every time I was reading this book, there is this one Buddhist quote which I always kept on remembering. I don't remember it exactly, so I'm just going to paraphrase it. It says that depression and anxiety are just fear about the past and the future. If you dwell in the past and think about all the bad things that happen to you, you are depressed. And if you're afraid about all the things that might happen to you in the future, you are always anxious. And there is no need to be either depressed or anxious, because both the past and future don't exist. It's only the now that exists. And that thing resonated a lot with this book for me, even though the book is not based on any kind of Buddhist concepts. Just keep in mind that once you read How to Do the Work, this will be super challenging for you to read. But I personally believe that both of these books are super excellent, and they will lead you into the path of excellence. So yes guys, those are the 5 books which I wanted to recommend to you in order to kickstart your 2023. I'm sure that you're going to do far better than you did last year. Just keep in mind that you should be kind to yourself and compassionate to yourself, just as you are with other people, because you are trying so hard, and that deserves a lot of appreciation, especially from yourself. And I hope this video was useful for you and did give you a positive boost to start the year with. If you did find it helpful in some way or the other, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. And if you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.